Hi there, welcome to the first episode today of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is a situation where a hate cleric has raised £3 million to create an Islamic homeland in a Scottish island, which I just thinks a bit mad. But, however, the exclusive story in today's Mail on Sunday has the headline, Hate cleric with his own army raises £3 million to create Islamic homeland on a Scottish island as the extremist who already runs military-style training camps bids to build his own school, hospital and mosque and practice sharia law at the remote spot. Now, before I read out the rest of the article, I thought the whole point of anti-racism, all these types of charities, quangos and things that are trying to put people together, is about the opposite of this. It's not about segregation. But this, at first instance to me, seems like segregation. And there was some talk that Black Lives Matter fancied doing a similar thing in some places in America where they had segregated communities purely for black people. And I had the exact same feelings about that. That's not been inclusive, that's been exclusive, and that is what people like Martin Luther King took to the streets for in the 50s and 60s to stop segregation. However, let's read the story and we'll give my opinions as we go on. A firebrand cleric who has been accused of spreading hate has raised more than £3 million to buy a small British island and turn it into his own Islamic State. Mail on Sunday can reveal that Sheikh Yasser al-Habib, 45, who claimed asylum in Britain 20 years ago after fleeing his native Kuwait, and his followers are in advanced talks to buy the remote island of Torsa off the west coast of Scotland. I live in the west of Scotland. The extremist scholar who already runs military-style training camps hopes his organisation can build its own school, hospital and mosque on the island where it intends to practice sharia law. In a video encouraging supporters to donate towards the £3.5 million target, the cleric says he will negotiate with the government to allow Muslims from all over the world to be given a visa in order for them to live in their new homeland. Residents in the neighbouring island of Luing reacted with concern when the Mail on Sunday revealed its plans to them. One man said, "I've spent much of my working life in Muslim countries, so I have no issues whatsoever with that community, but this group do seem alarming from what I've just seen now." Al-Habib, who is accused of stirring up sectarian hatred in Britain and the Arab world between Shia and rival Sunni Muslims, has his global headquarters in the picturesque village of Fulmer, South Buckinghamshire. He's been fundraising through his controversial satellite channel, Fadak TV, which he has run for several years from a £2 million converted church hall. Despite repeated warnings from the regulator Ofcom, Al-Habib, nicknamed the Mullah of Fulmer, has been permitted to continue broadcasting his lectures, spreading hate, inciting violence towards those from the Sunni faith and abroad. The cleric, who preaches only in Arabic, has amassed a huge following among Britain's 400,000 Shias and millions more across the world. Now he has set his sights on an uninhabited island of Torsa in Argyll, where he wants to establish a new homeland for his group called Mandi Servants Union. Mandi means Messiah. Torsa, which is one of the Slate Islands, is just over a mile long and has a farmhouse. It is accessible only by private boat from Luing, itself reached via ferry from the island of Shield, which in turn connects to the mainland via a bridge, and has not been permanently inhabited for more than 50 years. Sources told the Mail on Sunday that 2 representatives of the group have visited the island and filmed it as they were shown around. Al-Habib has since said on Fadak TV that Torsa, which comes with 2 little adjoining islets, is irreplaceable opportunity. Encouraging supporters to donate, he said Torsa will become an Islamic homeland which they will create to prepare the coming of their Messiah known as Mahdi. In one 3-minute video, al-Habib says, if you want to live free under the banner of Iman, in a special homeland where you feel everything in it reminds you of the awaited Mahdi, everything is the Shia homeland, support this project. In the same video, another man who is filming from Torsa says, here, my brothers, God willing, we want to build a large mosque, a school, Haza, which is a seminary. We want this place to be a homeland to the Shias and the believers. The footage switches to images of al-Habib's army, called the al-Shutra al-Kamas, training and doing drills in the grounds of his mosque in Fulma. In another video, al-Habib, who spent nearly 3 months in jail in Kuwait for insulting the Sunni faith, said the MSU will obtain the right for Shias from around the world to immigrate to the island. One Louis Greston said, I'm not sure the Women's Institute are going to stand for this. We'd welcome just about anyone, but this doesn't seem appropriate, adding that locals had been joking that singer Taylor Swift might buy Torsa. Last night, Sarah Zayami, a deputy director of communications at the American think tank Atlantic Council, who has researched al-Habib, said they will have their own army, their own justice system, they will manage their own schools and hospitals, and people from around the world will be able to migrate to this homeland. It does challenge the notion of sovereignty. It's puzzling to me how the UK authorities are allowing such a discourse. You are fundraising for the creation of a sovereign country on the margins of another one. Al-Habib has repeatedly come to the attention of the authorities since his arrival in the UK in 2004, and MPs have tried to shut down his TV channel without success. In June 2022, a film called The Lady of Heaven, written by Al-Habib, was pulled from Cineworld cinemas in some branches of View, after hundreds of Sunni Muslims protested against the film in cities such as Birmingham and Sheffield. They accused it of blasphemy as it depicted the Prophet himself, which Islam forbids. The cinema chain stopped showing the film as they feared for the safety of the staff, but critics accused Cineworld and View of self-censorship. In one of the speeches, Al-Habib called former Home Secretary Suella Braverman an animal after she said she may impose restriction on pro-Gaza marches. In a video broadcast after the attacks in Israel on October the 7th last year, Al-Habib said, who among us does not enjoy the retaliation on the Zionist enemy? We were all buoyed by this news. He did, however, criticise Hamas for desecrating bodies and raping women. In another clip, Al-Habib urges the killing of Wahhabis, a pejorative term for Saudi rulers, their clergy and officials. Oh dear. Khalid Mohammed, the former Labour MP for Birmingham Perry Barr, said this man has constantly attacked people of the Sunni faith with Fadak TV, which should not be allowed. It's a far right. If a far right group did this, there would be action against it, and so Ofcom should take action against him. If it's now even more absurd that there are paramilitary activities taking place at his premises, I want this channel closed down. Despite attempts to contact Habab, he did not comment. This is one of the topics that you really need to be careful what you say, because it will be very easy to say you're Islamophobic, you're racist, you're all these things and lots of beers and things. But this sort of nonsense worries me. This man's despised within the Muslim community all around the world. He's been arrested and he's ran away from Kuwait, and he's got other Muslims, you know, thinking he's what he's doing is blasphemous and all this. So when Islamists talk out about this person, are they Islamophobic? And if I say the exact same words, am I Islamophobic? I'm not sure how this one works. But as someone who lives in the west of Scotland, this is a bit of a worry. And it just concerns me that how this stuff filmed in a studio in their headquarters, world headquarters, I may add, in Buckinghamshire, manages to go along unabated. It just concerns me somewhat. And It can't really be allowed to happen. Surely you cannot have a state within a state. And to be so open about it and still not face any consequences seems pretty crazy to me. And the fact that even MPs have tried to stop this channel and it still goes, and they still have, as some of the pictures have shown, paramilitary type exercises in Buckinghamshire, and they want to take over a small island in the west of Scotland to have as their new HQ. Beggars belief. It really is. And, you know, we're a community, and you know, my community is vast in terms of, you know, one group of friends and family, that's a community. Glaswegian, that's a community. West of Scotland's a community. Scotland itself's a community. The United Kingdom's a community. So there's lots of my community get affected by this. And it just beggars belief. Surely this cannot and will not happen. But I'll not hold my breath waiting for any responses from the powers that be in either Westminster or indeed Scottish Parliament. So, if you enjoyed this video, which I doubt you did, but if you found it informative, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please consider subscribing and hitting the notifications bell. But as long as you're not this type of people that want to have a separatist colony, segregation and you know, and encourage segregation, unless you're these types of people, everyone else, have a great day. Cheery bye now.